Hey everyone, how you doing? Jason here. I want to talk about a topic today. First, let me say that this has been something that I've been thinking about for a long time, whether I do or I don't, because I don't want people to think that this is a cry for attention in any way and just make a video a bit not controversial, but a bit of poor me, but it's really not. I also want to say I'm obviously not an expert in this field. This is purely my opinion, how I feel and what I'm going through in my life. Now, let me tell you what it's about. It is about depression and myself suffering from it for many years and how I've dealt with it, how I am trying to deal with it and what I'm going through. And I just want to really share with you my experiences a little bit, and how I'm trying to deal with this, because I know there's a lot of other people out there that are going through it. Unfortunately, it's a word that's thrown around very easily by a lot of people that aren't diagnosed, that say they're depressed, and it really makes light of the situation, that because true depression can be very, very hard to deal with. And obviously we know the worst side, the worst outcome of what can happen when people are depressed, and we want to stop that and we want to try and deal with it. So I'm not going to get all sad about it when I talk about it, but what I am going to talk about is a little bit how I've felt and what I'm trying to do to deal with it, and and how I'm going. So like I said, no expert, it's purely my opinion, and please don't be offended by anything. You may agree, may not agree, but it's purely my thoughts and how I feel. And like I said, this is a bit of my own therapy. I've decided to do this because for me, talking about it helps, obviously. It's one of the first things I've learned, not to be embarrassed about it and not to be ashamed, because it's something you can't help. There's a chemical imbalance, and you need to deal with it. And there is ways to deal with it. There's obviously medication, therapy, talking about it. For me, I've been through the medication and I didn't respond well to it, so I would rather try and deal with this by talking and through lifestyle. So for me, it comes from a lot of problems. I'm not going to talk about details, but stemming back from a lot of problems from when I was younger, continuing through to my older life. I'm 44 years old now. In the last few years, I've been through a pretty tough time personally, through professional and personal life, with business in Australia, relationship-wise. Like everyone has these problems. I understand that I'm no different than anyone, but sometimes things compound and get on top of each other, and it can be very hard to deal with. And you have some very dark days. If anyone knows who's watching this, it gets tough. Dark days can be very lonely, and they can be hard to get through. Right now, I currently live in the Middle East. I live in Kuwait. I lived in Saudi Arabia for not quite 2 years before this, but now I'm in Kuwait, which is quite a nice place to live. I'm enjoying being here, but I'm currently here by myself, and it can be really tough. So I'm finding my feet in that way. But what I talk to you about is how I'm trying to deal with things. Firstly, nutrition for me is very, very important. Obviously, when you eat correctly, you feel better for a start physically. So what you put in your body is going to obviously have a direct effect on your physical capabilities and how you feel. So we need to get nutrition squared away. It's very, very important. I think it's overlooked by a lot of people in dealing with these sort of problems. So have a look at your nutrition first. That's where I try and do my best to eat well, because not the fact that just food makes you feel better, that physically, but when you eat bad and you know you shouldn't have, mentally you can get down on yourself, and that can be a bit of a cycle, and it's not going to help with people who are not feeling good already. Apart from that, obviously sleep is another thing that I believe is overlooked. Getting adequate sleep, this is very important. When you rest, this is when you recover, when your body resets and gets you ready for the next day. So nutrition and sleep. Next thing for me is exercise. I'm big on exercise. I try and have a routine from exercise. I do believe in the endorphins that are created when you exercise, how you feel better, all your stresses go away, you think about nothing else during this time. So I think exercise is an integral part of dealing with depression in your life. You must be doing some form of exercise, whether it be just walking, riding a bike, or high intensity, whatever works for you. Put some exercise in your life. It's going to make you feel better. So we've got nutrition, we've got sleep, and we've got exercise. For me, the next thing is obviously talking about it. This is why I'm doing this today. It's a bit of a therapy for me, like I said, trying to talk about it and not be ashamed of it, not be embarrassed. Look, I think the more people know that you deal with it and go through it, the more people that can be aware of how you are, and keep an eye on you if you're having tough days, which I do sometimes. And there's a couple of people close to me in my life that know how I'm dealing with. Obviously, people that watch this and more people know now, but I'm not. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't embarrass me at all. it's just something I deal with, and I have good days and bad days. And I make people that are close to me aware that I'm having a good day or a bad day if they ask, so they know where I'm at. And it just keeps people aware of this situation. And like I said, we all have problems in our life, and my problems are no more important than anyone else's at all. And what works for me doesn't necessarily work for someone else. But going over what I've said is important to me: nutrition, sleep, exercise, and talking about it and being aware. One last point, something else I focus on now is my breathing. I focus on a breathing technique that I've learnt of a man on YouTube and Joe Rogan and all these very well known now. Wim Hof, very famous for his what he has done through just through his breathing techniques and having a strong state of mind and in this area. And this is something I'm trying to adopt into my lifestyle, focusing on my breathing correctly to full capacity, morning and night. I do it in between when I can. I won't get into details how to do this, but you've only got to look up Wim Hof on YouTube and you'll see him talk about it and explain what he does. And this is backed by science, been tested a lot, and the fact of what the things he's managed to do through it. But he also believes it can help when relate with depression. Look, whether it's a placebo effect or not, it doesn't matter. It works for me. It makes me feel better. So I do focus on this area of my breathing. Another thing is, I believe people can do is choose to be happy. And I'm choosing to try and be happy. I'm dealing with things in my life that can be really tough. I'm going through that. Even talking about it now makes me a bit emotional. But I choose to be happy. So when something gets me down, I'm trying to make the choice to consciously not to sit there and think about it, but to choose to be happy and get on with my day. Because me sitting there thinking about it is not going to make any difference. It's not going to fix the situation. And the situation I'm in is something that I don't necessarily want to be in, but I am in this situation and I have to deal with it the best I can and get on with things. And if things change, that would be amazing. But in the meantime, I'm trying to make the best of the situation that I'm in by choosing to be happy. Don't get me wrong, guys. I get moments where I'm not happy and I'm down. But at that moment, I consciously try to remind myself to choose to be happy and not let it affect me and just get on with my day. I may have those thoughts, but then I get on with my day. So reminding myself of that I don't have to let these thoughts get me down. I can choose to move past them and get on with my day. It doesn't make them go away completely, but in that moment, it makes me, like I said, get on with my day and have a better day. So maybe through this video, some people might share it and get friends and whoever's going through it to try and adopt some of these principles. Like I said, focus on your nutrition. It's very, very important. Look at what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. It'll have an effect on how you feel. Focus on your sleeping. Get adequate sleep. Exercise, integral part of your lifestyle. To what level, it doesn't matter, as long as you get some exercise in your life. Your breathing, check out Wim Hof, check out the breathing technique. It can help. I really believe in it. Have a look at it. Talking about it, like I said, this is my therapy. Talking to people on YouTube I don't even know, people that do know me, that's fine. Everyone knows what I'm going with, that are close to me, going through that are close to me. And like I said, don't be embarrassed about it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It doesn't make you any weaker. I'm not any less of a man because I'm going through it. It's something I'm dealing with. And don't get me wrong, life could be a lot worse, but we have dark days, and you get through those days. So be aware of your feelings as well. Learn to understand yourself, and when you have these feelings, to be proactive about it, and don't let yourself get in that hole. Understand how to deal with it to before you get in that hole, to have a better day. So that comes down to, like I said, choosing to be happy. When you start to feel that moment, trying to get yourself out of it, snap out of it, distract yourself, do something else, and get on with your day. Look, guys, like I said, no expert, just sharing my thoughts on what I'm going through, how I'm trying to deal with it. I know I keep you updated and how I'm going with this. These are some of these new principles I've adopted, especially the breathing. This is something new that I'm trying right now, to really focus on my breathing, with the deep breathing, the completely in and halfway out. Doing this, like I said, the Wim Hof style that I've learned, and it's working well. So let's focus on these points, and hopefully we can all have a better day. If you are someone that goes through this, I wish you luck, and I hope you can deal with some of these issues you're dealing with, but try and adopt some of these principles. If you know someone that's dealing with these with this problem in their life, with genuine depression, ask them if they're okay. Talk to them. It matters. You'll be surprised what difference it makes when you simply ask someone, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Don't force yourself on them. If they say they're okay, that's fine. Just be aware. But sometimes when you see it, just ask, are you okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Give it a share. Subscribe to my channel if you like it. And like I said, this is not a cry for attention. This is just getting my thoughts out there, and maybe I can help someone else out there that watches this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Bye.